Bill, National Assembly Bills number 24 of 2023 be now read a second time. You may proceed to vote. May the following honorable senators proceed to dispatch to get assistance on how to cast their votes. Senator Fernandi, Senator Chiranke, Senator Eddie Okech, and Senator Newton. Senator Newton, proceed to dispatch and cast your vote. Senator Fernandi. Senator for Nandi, take your seat, please. The result of the vote is as follows. Ayes at 30, nays at 0, abstention at 0. So the ayes have it.
The National Disaster Risk Management Bill 2023, a bill for an act of parliament to establish the National Disaster Risk Management Authority and County Disaster Risk Management Committees to provide a legal framework for the coordination of disaster risk management activities and for connected purposes.
Sergeant at Arms, you may now open the doors and withdraw the bar. Next order. Now, honorable senators, we had deferred comments on the statements. So we'll conclude that before we go to order number 17. Senator Wafula, you had the floor.
Tunapata kwamba ni miradi ambayo huwapa kipato wanakandarasi ama baadhi ya maafisa katika kaunti husika, na hivi kuhakikisha kwamba Wakenya na kaunti wanakamuliwa pasi fedha, ndipo miradi hii kwa haraka upitishwa katika awamu ya kimombo wanasema supplementary budget. Sasa mimi naomba jumba la Senate liweze kumakinika na kuhakikisha kwamba mambo kama haya yanasitishwa na hatua madhubuti kuchukuliwa. Jambo la pili, Mheshimiwa Spika, ni kuunga Mheshimiwa mwenyekiti wa kamati ya ukulima kwamba tutasitisha vikao vyetu ili kuhakikisha fedha ambazo kamati zinapewa ni fedha za kutosha kuhakikisha kwamba kamati ya ukulima inaenda nyanjani kushughulika na zaraa ama ukulima ambao umegatuliwa kirasmi katika nchi ya Kenya. Mheshimiwa Spika, hatuwezi kuwa tunakaa Nairobi kupiga gumzo, kuboronga Kiingereza, kutunga sheria hapa Nairobi ili hali hatuendi mashinani, wakulima wa mashinani wahusishwe katika sheria ambazo tunashughulikia, ambao huenda wanaumia na wameshindwa kuzungumza. Mheshimiwa Spika, kusema kwamba kamati za bunge zipewe fedha za kutosha, na tukiangalia miaka na seneti miaka iliyopita walikuwa wanapewa fedha za kutosha za kufanya kazi. Sasa mimi naomba turudi katika kumbukumbu za kifedha, tuone iwapo miaka 10 iliyopita kamati ilikuwa inapewa milioni 20, milioni 15, iwaje sasa ambapo tumepiga hatua nyingi za gatuzi tunaanza kukohoa na kukatiwa hewa ya kifedha. Mheshimiwa Spika, sasa hili ni jambo ambalo viongozi katika jumba hili, viongozi katika kamati na jumba la Senate, mumakinike, mujinyanyue na mututetee, kwa sababu tumewapa nafasi. Hatutaraji sisi wenyewe tuje hapa tuanze kuzusha, tuanze kudai kana kwamba sisi sio jumba la Senate ambalo hugawia makaunti fedha za ugatuzi za kufanya maendeleo. Na mwisho, Mheshimiwa Spika, juzi tulipitisha bilioni 400 kwenda katika kaunti. Iwaje sisi wenyewe tunashindwa kutekeleza majukumu yetu kwa sababu hatuna hela? Ni kinaya. Nataka tu nielezwe kama kuna hela ama hakuna hela. Huenda nasema kuna hela na ziko hewani mahali na sijaziona. So Mheshimiwa Spika, nashukuru kwa nafasi hii na kutaraji kwamba miradi ambayo haijakamilika ikamilike, na yale ambayo inatapaswa kuanza ianzwe na imalizwe katika awamu za magavana walioko sasa. Asante Mheshimiwa Spika.
And honorable senators, the time that was allocated was 15 minutes for statement comments on the statements. And fortunately, Senator Wakoli has used almost 6 minutes. So let us get now Senator Ososi Godfrey. Within 2 minutes, you can make just one comment on the statements.
Chair, I want to make a comment on the statement by the Chair of Standing Committee on Education on the matter of the current study they are doing on ECD, so that, Mr. Speaker, they come up with a uniform scheme of service for ECD. Mr. Speaker, this would be one of the greatest achievements of this Senate if this matter was prioritized, because we have a crisis in the management of ECDs in our counties. And it is a high time that the Committee for Education, finalized this report, brought it to the this House so that we can pass it and have it implemented in our counties. Mr. Speaker, very soon my committee of CPIC is going to present a report on their findings after they have reviewed the bursary funds in counties. Mr. Speaker, the bursary fund in our counties, we have found out that these funds have been misused and mismanaged, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it is illegal for our counties to continue appropriating money into these bursary funds or the so-called governor scholarship funds when that function is not a devolved function. It's a national government function, Mr. Speaker. And they are putting money in these funds at the same time starving the ECDs and the vocational training centers of the funds that are required to run them efficiently. Mr. Speaker, one of the most fundamental things that this House has to do is to abolish all the bursary funds that we have in our counties. Let people get bursaries from the national government, CDF, or from Ministry of Education. Let the counties focus on devolved function. That is the ECDs.
Just a minute, Senator. So what is your point of order, Senator? Point of information. Do you want to be informed?
He can inform me because he's a member of my committee and we have been dealing with the bursary funds, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, I just wanted to inform the chair of CPIC and the deputy party leader of ODM, Senator Osotsi, on the beat around the proper scheme of service for teachers at the ECD level. The bill you have just passed at the second reading, the bill on ECD, comprehensively seeks to address this particular issue. And I wanted to inform him that I know he has voted for the bill, but maybe he hasn't read that bill. And the reason why I'm informing him is because he's one of the most important senators of this House in terms of coming up with serious amendments, so that in the third reading of that bill, perhaps you can propose amendments, but that bill has just passed the third reading in the second reading that we'll just add right now in the division. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Senator Eddy.
Conclude, Senator Ososi.
Yes, thank you, Senator Eddy. You know, the scheme of service is one thing, but there are other challenges that face ECD management in our counties, including even provision of appropriate environment for learning. For example, classrooms, sanitary areas, they are not there in most of our ECDs. So it is a comprehensive matter, and that capacity issues around the ECDs are largely caused by low financing or funding of these ECD programs in our counties. And that's why, Mr. Speaker, I'm saying it will be important for us to review the way the counties spend their money on education. It is illegal, and this has been going on for some time, Mr. Speaker, where counties put money in bursaries so that they can easily steal, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I think this House has to rise to the occasion and abolish the bursary funds that we have in our counties. And soon, Mr. Speaker, after completion of a report, we'll be bringing a report in this House that demonstrates how bursary funds and the governor's scholarship funds, or some counties have even invested in school infrastructure, building.
Senator Chalge Samson.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I just wanted to react to the statement made by the chairperson of Agriculture. One, it is disappointing that the issue of capacity and ability of committees is dysfunctional. Mr. Speaker, as the chair of Liaison Committee, I expect you to intervene on this matter. And Senator Faki had requested for Kamkunji. I hope we can be able to discuss this matter. Secondly and finally, Chair, I needed an update from the chair of Agriculture, Mr. Speaker, on the issue of bonus. You remember where I come from, Nandi County, Vihiga, Kakamega, Nyamira, Kisii, Bomet, and Kericho, our T bonuses were very low. We were receiving 17 to 25 shillings. But on this other side of the country, Mr. Speaker, sir, they were receiving up to 61 shillings bonuses, Mr. Speaker. And that is why I expected even up to Bungoma. Mr. Speaker, that's why I expected on the issue of T-bonus. Even I saw even in your area today, I saw your people demonstrating, yet they are getting even more better, up to 57 to 60 shillings. As in Nandi, we are getting only 15 shillings, 17 shillings to 25 shillings, Mr. Speaker. So this issue on T-bonuses of our farmers, especially from the Rift Valley, Mr. Speaker, and part of Nyanza, and part of Western Kenya, Mr. Speaker, we are suffering, Mr. Speaker. We need this issue of T-bonuses to be told. Because you cannot tell us that the tea that comes, Mr. Speaker, from another part of Kenya fetches more bonuses over that come from Rift Valley, Mr. Speaker. And that is why, Mr. Speaker, I want to appeal to the Agriculture Committee to tell the country what really is happening about the bonuses that we have in this country, Mr. Speaker. So that our...
Senator Chalege, in just a minute. You know the statement by the Agriculture Committee was on the business that have been on the committee for the last session to date. Maybe that business is not before the committee on the team bonuses. So maybe if there is a statement you have sought, you will be able to respond to that matter when the time comes. But he could not respond to something that has not been finalized by the committee.
Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, I have seen in the statement he has talked about the Kenya Tea Development Agency, the issue of tea matters are in his statement that were presented today. So, Mr. Speaker, but also our committees should be judicially noticed of what is happening, Mr. Speaker. I thought that has been the thumb rule of committees. But I know the chair of Agriculture, we have expectations a lot from him, Mr. Speaker. So, Speaker, I thank you.
We're almost concluding now, Senator Kaluda Bed Sengo. on statements, I think that should be the end of that session.
Thank you. Asante sana, Mheshimiwa Spika. Nasimama kuunga mkono hoja iliyowasilishwa na Senator wa Machakos, Senator Agnes Kawindu, kuhusu miradi ambayo imesimama katika county zetu. Na kwa hakika niseme kwa miradi mingi ambayo imesimama na imeacha kumaliziwa, imekosa kumaliziwa, imekosa kutimiza kazi ambayo ilianzishwa kufanya, ni kwa sababu ya viongozi ambao walikuwa awali. Kama ni governor akipata mradi ambao ilianzishwa na predecessor wake ama governor aliyekuweko mbele, ama kama ni mbunge ama mwakilishi wa wodi, wanaacha hizo miradi kwa sababu za kisiasa. Anaona akimalizia hiyo miradi atakayepata sifa na ni yule aliyetangulia kuanzisha huo mradi, ambao ni makosa. Mheshimiwa Spika, jambo la pili ni kusema kwamba pesa ya umma inatumika kuanzisha hii miradi, na hiyo miradi isipomaliziwa, isipokamilika ndio ifaidi wananchi, pesa ya umma inapotea na imekuwa wasted, na ambao ni makosa sana. Mheshimiwa Spika, kwa pesa ya umma kupotea na kukosa kufaidi wenye nchi. Niseme Bwana Spika, maendeleo ambayo inakusudiwa kuletwa na pesa ya umma, miradi ikianzishwa katika counties zetu na inakosa kukamilika na inakosa kutumika, basi inakuwa maendeleo inasimama. Na tunajua kama viongozi katika jumba la Seneti, sisi utetea ukamilifu na kufanya kazi kwa devolution. Kwa hivyo isipofanyika, basi inakuwa kwamba sisi kazi yetu haijahalalishwa kikamilifu, na basi wananchi wa Kenya wanapoteza pesa zao, maendeleo inakosa kupatikana mashinani, na wananchi wanahangaika ili hali walipiga kura, wanalipa ushuru, na pesa zao ambazo wanatumia kwa kulipa ushuru zinapaswa kutumika kuleta maendeleo kwa wananchi, na basi maendeleo inakosa na inakuwa ni kupoteza pesa za wananchi ambayo haistahili. Mheshimiwa Spika, nitachangia kidogo kuhusu ripoti iliyoletwa na mwenyekiti wa ukulima. Mimi ni mwanakamati wa kamati ya ukulima, na ni vibaya Mheshimiwa Spika kwamba mgao wa fedha ambao unapaswa kwenda kwa kamati, basi kwa kamati ya ukulima inapaswa.
Can we now go to the next order?
Order number 17, the Division of Revenue Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bills number 38 of 2024, second reading, resumption of debate.
I'm informed that Senator Boni Karware and a balance of 13 minutes on this motion. Do you intend to proceed executing?
Mr. Speaker, I would like to proceed. I had barely started, then time was up. So I would like to use a bit of that time. And I want to thank you, Mr. Speaker, for allowing me. In the first 5 or so minutes when I spoke, I was able to go into the work we did as a committee, and I want to use this opportunity to request colleagues, members of this Senate, for support of our report on the fact that we do not remove even 1 shilling from the revenue that this House passed. That the 400.16 billion shillings in its entirety should go to our counties. Mr. Speaker, as I say this, I know counties are faced with serious problems of pending bills. Talking about Kakamega, talking about Nairobi, the pressure is too much. So I want to urge governors, as soon as they get this money, even if some of them do not respect us, we've done our bit. Let them make sure that the economies in our counties remain vibrant through settlement of pending bills. And Mr. Speaker, saying this, it reminds me, according to the report of the Controller of Budget, my county of Kakamega had a whooping 1.47 billion shillings in pending bills. And it took me a lot of interest, a lot of hard work to push the governor to start paying these bills. I want to thank this same committee, without which Governor Barasa had refused to pay the people who gave credit to our county, and now he has been able to pay 751,800,000. Mr. Speaker, I want to congratulate the governor for paying this 771.8 million shillings to our creditors. And I want to assure the remaining creditors who have not received their money due in pending bills worth 718.2 million shillings to rest assured and know that for as long as God allows me to be the senator of Kakamega, before the end of this financial year, Governor Barasa will have to pay this balance. And I want to congratulate them. When we were doing our oversight conference at the Golf Hotel, the information they gave us was very useful, and we are using that information. They'll be paid. And for Governor Barasa, we have summoned you to come to the Senate to demonstrate why you cannot pay this balance, because you have no reason. We've given you the money as the Senate of Kenya. Mr. Speaker, it is important that before I end the contribution on this very important bill, we must speak to some of the bad manners by our governors. Some of our governors have got serious bad manners. We must call them out. Mr. Speaker, right now, I've just been watching some news on social media, I hope it is true, and it shows unrest in the county of Nandi. Mr. Speaker, it shows unrest in the county of Kericho.
For Nandi wants to inform you, I don't know on what matters.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, I'm concerned about the unrest in Nandi, and they're my neighbors.
So do you wish to be informed by the
Yes, on behalf of
Nandi?
the lawyers of Jesumei who live and vote in Nandi, I would love to be informed.
Proceed, Senator Chel-
Mr. Speaker, I want to inform my good neighbor Omwami, the bullfighter, and we talk. Nandi County Assembly is under siege because the people of Nandi are moving the MCAs to commence impeachment proceedings against the inept governor, Sang, and remove him from office. And I want to assure there have also been some blows, exchange of blows by members of County Assembly. And Mr. Speaker, this is, we must ensure devolution works by fire, Mr. Speaker. Even, and I want to confirm that this house should be ready for impeachment against the governor of Nandi, Governor Sang, in the next few weeks. Because from the intelligence I have, Mr. Speaker.
What is the information that you wanted to pass?
I wanted to confirm to him that it is true that there is unrest in Nandi because people are tired of bad governance and corruption that is being perpetuated by the governor of Nandi, Sang. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, I'm grateful because I was worried that somebody would shoot up and challenge me for quoting social media. Of course, social media cannot stand in this house. So the confirmation from the distinguished senator of Nandi that there is unrest in Nandi must be taken seriously. And even more so by Senator Boni Khalwale and Senator Osotsi, because our cousins come from that county.